When it comes to the world of superheroes, my favorite has to be Batman. I always took a liking to him as a kid, and he's just been a badass all throughout time, you know? There's been so many great Batman iterations, and one of my favorite had to be Batman the Animated Series, and of course, the Michael Keaton movies. I loved those movies, and I thought they were phenomenal. So growing up, I always took a liking to Batman. And Batman video games have been around for quite a while. There's been some on the PC, and then of course we had the classics like the NES one, Batman by Sunsoft, which was amazing, and you had the stinkers like Batman Forever on the Genesis and Super Nintendo. And modern Batman games have become really popular again with the Arkham series. That was a really popular series, and a lot of people loved it. So Batman games have been around forever, and there's a lot of good Batman games that are out there that people never really talk about because I don't necessarily think people have played these games. So today's video, we're going to talk about the best Batman games you probably never played, so let's get into it. So the first Batman game I want to talk about is appropriately called Batman. Now this was an arcade release back in 1990 and it was done by Data East, and Data East was an arcade powerhouse. You can see that this game has some really good visuals in terms of colors, scrolling, enemy sprites, and there's even these cool first person scenes. Now these first person scenes aren't just there to be there, it's actually Batman going from location to location because this game follows the plot of the 1989 Batman movie done by Tim Burton. And there's a lot of visual flair. You can see here, this is one of the scenes where Jack gets knocked into the thing.
Wait till they get a load of me.
And there's even voice acting in it. So it's really well done game. It's pretty fun. You know, it's your standard side-scrolling beat 'em up for an arcade game. It won't take you very long to run through, but I love how it follows the movie, and it follows the movie so accurately. This, of course, is the museum, the art museum scene where you have to meet Vicky Vale. Just an amazing game based off an amazing movie, and it's really fun. Arcade games, of course, aren't that easy to just find out in the wild, but you know, via a little emulation, you can find this game pretty easily, and it's definitely worth a playthrough. Nothing too crazy, nothing too spectacular, but if you're a fan of the Tim Burton movies and you're a fan of Batman side-scrollers, which you should be because a lot of the games are, this will definitely take up some of your time. The next game we're going to look at is Batman the Animated Series on the Game Boy. Now this was released in 1992, and I honestly did not know this game existed until pretty recently, probably about a year or two ago. And I really like this game because I am a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series from 1992. I think it's a phenomenal cartoon, and it touches on a lot of real life subjects as well. You know, it's very dark, you know, there's drugs and violence and whatnot. And this game is a fun representation of it. You have Batman or Robin, which you play as, and there's 5 different scenarios, and each scenario plays out like an episode of the show. So each episode or each scenario has its own storyline and what you're doing. And the gameplay is really smooth. The graphics are really nice for the Game Boy. And it's not, you know, the most complicated game, but there is puzzle solving and whatnot, and it's a really enjoyable game. If you're a fan of Batman the Animated Series, in my opinion, this is a must-own title.
Nice to see you, Bats. It's been too long.
Two-Face, what have you done with the mayor?
Oh, he's around.
Batman the Brave and the Bold was a Wii release that a lot of people did not notice because this was kind of before the whole Arkham series, and Batman games were very hit or miss at this time frame. But this game was actually designed by WayForward Studios, and WayForward is an amazing company. They have done the Shantae series, so they really know how to create a visually pleasing and interesting game, and this is an amazing Batman game. It has 2-player modes, there's lots of banter between Batman and Robin, and there's a lot of interesting mechanics here. There's a lot of interesting gameplay. As you can see, it is another side-scrolling beat-em-up, but it's very fun. It's very fluid combat, and the set pieces are great. They're so varied in what different areas you're in. And the Wii Mote does kind of get in the way a little bit, but for the most part, it's just a very solid game. And it's a shame that not enough people played this game, because it's really fun, and it's really one of the better Batman games before the Arkham series that we saw. So if you have a Wii or a Wii U, make sure you check out Batman the Brave and the Bold, which is based on the animated series. And the final game we're going to look at is Batman Arkham Blackgate, and this is a really fun game, and it's available on a variety of systems. If you have a PC, PS3, Xbox 360, a Vita, a 3DS, you can play this game, and I highly suggest you do. This is in the Arkham world, but it's a bit slower paced. You know, Arkham was a big 3D open world. This is more of a 2.5D adventure, but it's very stylized. You can see the cutscenes here are really well done with that comic book style. And I really like the gameplay. It doesn't focus as much on combat as it does in exploration and puzzle solving. And that's good, because that's a big part of Batman. That's a big part of Batman culture, is, you know, solving crimes. It's not just fight, fight, fight. It's not just beat everyone up all the time. And this game really replicates it well. The voice acting is top-notch, phenomenal work, and the graphics are pretty good too, no matter what system you play it on. It was originally designed for the 3DS and Vita, and then ported. An HD version was brought onto home consoles, so it's not going to look as good as those games, that Arkham games that were built for those consoles. But all in all, I think it's a very visually pleasing game. The colors look really nice no matter where you play it on, and really at the end of the day, the gameplay is what matters. And if you like exploration, if you like a sort of a Castlevania, almost like a Metroidvania sort of feel, but starring Batman with, you know, detective mode and puzzle solving, all sorts of cool little trinkets, you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of this game. It's really fun, and I definitely recommend you pick it up on any of the platforms it's available on. And those are some of the best Batman games you've probably never played. Now, if you have played these games before, let me know in the comments section down below. If you've never heard of these versions of the game, let me know in the comments section down below if you plan on checking them out, because I really think they're fun, and I think that whether you enjoy Batman or superheroes or even action games in general, you will find some enjoyment with these games. Thank you for watching this video. As always, be sure to check out other videos on the channel. Leave this video a like, leave me a comment down below, subscribe if you're new here, and if you really like my face, check out my Patreon page. I will catch you guys next time. Later.